One of the functions that I often see people asking about is a randomized timer. Say, for example, you build a game board and you want to be able to roll a dice, just a regular six-sided dice. There's a pretty quick and dirty way to do this. We'll need two things to do that. The first is going to be a trigger, which is going to act as the method with which we will trigger the RNG plate. And then the second thing we need is the RNG plate itself. So we'll go ahead and place this guy. We're going to make it reasonably big enough. We'll assume this is the game board. We're going to make it big enough that everybody on the game board is going to be able to see and shoot at this thing, because that's going to act as the event that's going to trigger the dice roll for us. So we're going to rotate it just a bit here to make it a bit easier to see and hit. Why is this rotation being so funny? It's been wanting to do these weird rotations lately. So we'll get this set up this way, and then we can change its size to make it a bit larger, so it's a touch easier to hit for everybody. Make sure to turn off drop so it's hanging in midair. Second thing we're going to need is the random number generator, and this is going to be the thing that actually does the work of generating and showing us the number. So we'll go ahead and rotate that guy to, let's flip it the same way. And the placement on these guys is a little funny. It's kind of tough to see, but those numbers are actually upside down right now. So we want the numbers to be at the bottom of the plate. So we'll go ahead and rotate that around. Did I get it? Why did I not get it? And we'll rotate this. The rotation on these things has been super weird lately. I'm not sure exactly why it's doing this. Now that we have it rotated correctly, we'll go ahead and make it nice and big. Where are you? Make sure that your resize axis is set to all. We'll make this nice and big because this is what's going to actually display the numbers. We want to be able to see this from basically everywhere. Then we have two settings on here that we actually need to change. Activate when receiving from channel. You'll just want to pick an unused channel in this map. We don't have anything else. It's the only thing doing any actual stuff, so we pick channel 1. And we'll want to make sure to set its roll time to a few seconds, just in case the same number is rolled. If you roll a 4 and then you shoot it, it's still showing 4. Having that roll time makes it change to a yellow display and kind of flicker for a moment while it's picking a number, so you can see that it's actually doing something. The next thing, or I guess the last thing that we'll need to do, is change this so that when it's hit by a bullet that's triggered by damage, it will now trigger. And then we want it to send a pulse when it gets triggered. It needs to transmit on channel 1. Because now what's going to happen is when we shoot this plate, or a player runs over and touches it, because we have that setting, it will spin up a number and spit it out. And the numbers that it's going to roll are defined based on this. It automatically sets 1 to 6 as its base, but you can adjust it to be whatever you want. You want 1 to 10, or all the way out to 1 to 100. That's entirely up to you. You can also have a starting, its minimum roll is 2 or 3 or 10 or whatever you'd like it to be. Let's go ahead and throw down a player spawn plate. The other thing that you'll need to do is give everybody a weapon, and the best way to do that is through the team inventory and settings that I found. It's nice and quick, gives it to everybody that way, so you don't have to do it for each individual spawn pad. So we'll go ahead and set down one of those and set down a player spawn plate. And onto this, we'll just want to grab a weapon. It doesn't really matter what it is, we'll just grab a pistol. It has a nice quick reload and all of that, so we're not waiting around to take our things. And you just drop it onto, and now this is going to give it to everybody. We will come down here and say infinite ammo on this, so we don't have to worry about running out of ammo mid-game. That would be kind of lame. And then now when we start our game, we will have a fully functioning dice effect. This is a very cheap and... I have a bunch of spawn plates over here still. So now once the game has begun, everybody comes over here and starts on their tiles, or maybe rolls to figure out where they're going to go. All you need to do is shoot that guy, and it will spin up a number between 1 and 6. So now we have given all of our players a gun, and if your friends are anything like mine, they're going to spend the entire time trying to shoot each other instead of actually playing the game that we've spent all this time making for them, but we can tweak that. If we go into My Island on the Game tab, if we change teams to cooperative, all the players will no longer be able to damage each other, and that's it. If you just need a basic dice roller, you're done.